Well, it happened again. Sean O'Malley lost to Merab Dvalishvili yet again, and this time it wasn't even a decision. It was a ninja choke submission at the end of round 3. Let that sink in for a second, okay? Merab, the guy everyone knows as this cardio machine, the pressure king, the decision grinder, just submitted one of the most high-profile strikers in the division. That's kind of terrifying, man. Like, we all knew he could drown guys with pace and takedowns, but now he's finishing people too? And honestly, none of this should be surprising if you've been paying attention. I mean, the MMA community wasn't exactly shocked. In fact, I saw a lot of people confidently picking Merab was gonna do this and win. But even then, there was a wave of optimism out there. Folks in my comment section on Twitter, wherever, trying to sell the idea that Sean O'Malley was just gonna flip the script, that the rematch was gonna look different, that the first fight wasn't the real O'Malley, and this time he was gonna come back smarter, sharper, and healthier. And I get it, I really do. Sean had legit reasons for why the first fight played out like that. He was dealing with a hip injury, his camp wasn't fully locked in on preparing for that version of Merab, they underestimated the chaos. I get the argument, it's not a bad one on paper. But even knowing all that, I just couldn't shake what I saw in the first fight. And when I ran it back in my head, it was clear as day that Merab has so many tools to take advantage here yet again. And more importantly, it had to do with the mental edge. He broke Sean once before. And when you've done that once, it sticks with you. That's not something you can just shake off with a couple of months of training, you know? And sure, Sean looked more serious this time. He locked in, he was focused. You could tell that he was ready for this rematch. But it didn't matter because Merab came back and reminded everybody that he's not just a grinder, that he's evolving. He's dangerous now in ways that he wasn't before. And when that guy starts submitting elite strikers like it's just another day in the office, yeah, that's a scary thought. So yeah, Merab submitted Sean. That was terrifying. But now, let's actually talk about what went inside the cage. Let's walk through it piece by piece because this wasn't just a fight. This was an unraveling, you know? From the moment that first round kicked off, you can feel it in the air. Merab was dialed in like there wasn't a single ounce of hesitation. No feeling out process, no let's see what Sean's doing. He came out and clocked in for violence from the jump. This wasn't just about pressure, it was intentional, technical chaos. But let's not brush over Sean either. He came out looking sharp, and I mean that. Footwork was crisp, movement was clean, he looked light on his feet, and you could tell that the game plan was to keep him away from the fence. He was circling well, snapping that jab, using that long range deep kicks and body shots to create distance. And honestly, for the first 90 seconds, it looked like the adjustments were working. He even landed a few nice body kicks and real snappy ones, and his straight left down the pipe had some real snap on it. There was some flashes of the old school Sean O'Malley rhythm, the kind of timing where you start thinking, okay, if he keeps this up, maybe he can style on Merab. But here's the thing, you can't keep that up for 15 minutes against Merab. You just can't. Because Merab doesn't give you time to breathe, he doesn't give you space to think. The moment you take a mental step back, he's already in your chest, throwing hooks, crashing the clinch, level changing, mixing it all together. It's not even fair to call it a takedown attempt. It's more like an unending wrestling storm. And this is where things started to shift. Sean's movement started just slowing down a little, his timing got just a hair off, and suddenly, instead of popping the jab and circling out, he's getting caught on the break, and Merab's hands actually look better than ever. No joke. He was actually setting things up, popping the jab, coming over the top with the tight hook, landing clean on the exits. You could tell he's been sharpening up that boxing. This wasn't the same wild brawler from 2 years ago. This was a pressure fighter with real polish. The clinch work, money. The cage control, flawless. Every time they tied up, Merab was dictating the pace. He wasn't just trying to drag Sean to the ground. He was chipping away, landing short shots, making Sean feel his weight, letting the frustration build. And even when Sean defended the initial shots, which to his credit, he did well, it just didn't matter because as soon as he created separation, Merab would hit him on the break and jump right back into it. And that cycle just kept repeating. Round 1 ended and you're like, okay, Sean's still in it. He defended a bunch of takedowns, landed a few good shots, but you could tell he was already working way harder than he wanted to. Then round 2 hit, and this is where the crack started to show. Sean started missing more, the setups are slower, his reactions are just a little late, and you know how it goes. When you're thinking about the takedown, your striking's falling apart. He's hesitating now. He's not flowing in every exchange. Because he's not flowing, every exchange becomes a math problem. If I throw this right hand, is he going to shoot? Am I going to give him my leg? That's the kind of second guessing that kills rhythm. Meanwhile, Merab is just heating up. He's chaining everything together, punches into the clinch, into a takedown attempt, into breaks, into elbows, into pressure again. And the crazy part is that he's not even slowing down. If anything, he's getting faster. You can feel the tide turning completely. Sean still defended well, still landed a few big swings, but it's not enough. He's not in control. He was surviving for this fight. And then we got to round 3, and this round right here, this is where it came all crashing down. Merab gets a beautiful entry, not even a wild scramble, just a clean, powerful lift and slam. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. It looked like somebody straight out of the Henry Cejudo playbook just scooped Sean up and dumped him. Textbook, clean, no wasted energy. The kind of takedown that tells you, yeah, you're in my world now. And from there, it was just full domination. I think the live stats on the screen at one point said 61-3 in strikes landed. Just think about that. That's not even a typo. That's how one-sided the ground and pound was. Merab was picking his shots, dropping elbows, punching through the guard, softening Sean up. And you can see Sean flattening out, trying to survive, trying to wall walk, but it was like the fight had already left him. And then the cherry on top, the submission, a naked choke. Merab just slid into it, locked it up mid-transition, and then boom, Sean rolled, tried to escape it, but it's too late, tap out, game over. And man, when the guy who's known for being a decision, known for a pace, known for wearing people down, when that guy starts finishing elite strikers with chokes, you start looking at him very differently, I'll tell you that. Because this wasn't just a win, this was a statement. Merab didn't just beat Sean, he broke him again. He outstruck him, he out-wrestled him, he outpaced him, and then he submitted him. That's the complete MMA package, and that's scary. Now, you've got to start having that conversation like, are we looking at the bantamweight GOAT? Because the win streak, the names, the dominance, it's all there. You beat Sean twice, you beat Jan, you beat Cejudo, you beat Umar, and now you're just out here submitting dudes? Bro, we're gonna have to talk about what's next for Merab, because it looks like it's gonna be Corey Sandhagen. And I know a lot of people are rolling their eyes at that. I've seen the comments, I've seen the tweets. Oh, Corey's boring. That fight's gonna be a snooze fest. Why not give Merab someone more exciting? But let's just be real for a second. Who's even left in the top 5? Like, seriously. Pull up the bantamweight rankings and go down the list, and it's either Corey or Song Yadong. And let's keep it a buck. Corey Sandhagen deserves it more. He's been winning, he's been active, he's had high-level competitions, and stylistically, he's at least interesting. He's not gonna get steamrolled the way other contenders might. The dude's got this long frame, that awkward movement, and he can wrestle when he needs to. He's not just some flashy striker anymore. He's well-rounded, and that's why I think this fight makes sense. Now, do I think Corey beats Merab? Nah, I really don't. I think he gives him a decent puzzle to solve, but at the end of the day, Corey's just isn't dangerous enough, I think. And no disrespect, it's just the truth. He's technical now. He evolved into the smart, calculated fighter who picks his spots, makes in takedowns, and avoids brawls here and there. He's not that guy flying through the air with knees anymore, unless he's fighting someone who's already past their prime. He's methodical, and that's great for longevity. But against Merab, I don't know, man. That kind of style might just play into Merab's game. Like, yeah, Corey might be able to defend some takedowns or pop up a jab and move, but Merab's pressure is different. That cardio, that pace, the constant in-your-face energy, it's hard to outpoint someone who's never letting you breathe. If Corey can't hurt him or make him hesitate, it's gonna be a long night. But hey, it's still a good fight. It's one that makes the most sense right now. And even if people aren't hyped for it on paper, they will be once they get closer. Once the promo starts dropping, trust me, bro. Now let's talk about Sean. What do we even do with Sean O'Malley right now? Because I'll be honest with y'all, I think the Sugar Show might be done. He's not done as he should retire, but done in the sense of title contention at the bantamweight division. He's not getting a third title shot at Merab, not anytime soon. And even if somehow the stars align and they do the fight down the line, he's not going to be Merab. That second fight was as clear as it gets. He's gotten taken down, beaten up, frustrated, and then he got submitted. Like, bro, that's the full MMA checkmate right there. That's not, oh, you just made a mistake. That's, I downloaded you and I deleted the file. So if I'm O'Malley, I start seriously thinking about moving up to 145. That's the only way that this story gets a real fresh coat of paint. And I know 145 is a Shark Tank. We're talking about, you know, fighters like Alex Volkanovski, Diego Lopez, you know, Mazvar Evelev. But at least There's a lot of killers up there, man, but at least it's a new path. At least it gives him a chance to add muscle, carry more power, maybe improve in strength and his takedown defense with the extra size, because at 135 he's getting bullied. Merab physically dominated him again. Now, I'm not saying that O'Malley goes up and becomes a champ at featherweight. I'm not even saying that he'll be top 3, but I could see him working his way to the top 5. Yeah, could I see him have some fun fights with like Giga Chikadze, Kelvin Kattar, or even with Brian Ortega if the styles line up? Absolutely. That's the kind of fresh start that he needs right now. But if he stays at bantamweight, man, what are we really going to do here? He's not beating Merab, he's not leapfrogging Corey, and guys like Umar are bad matchups for him. The best case scenario at 135 is just a handful of names, like a rematch with Peter Yan, which honestly I'd love to see. I know Yan's fighting now. I believe it's against Marcus McGee. No disrespect to Marcus, but if Yan wins that fight, which I think he will, then boom, you got the perfect storyline to run it back with O'Malley. That's a fight that actually still has meaning. Their first one was razor close, super controversial, and both guys kind of need to reestablish themselves. That's one of the very few bantamweight fights that still makes sense for Sean if he doesn't move up. Outside of that, maybe a one-off fight with Corey if the belt isn't on the line, maybe a scrap with Umar if they want to feed him to the wolves, but that's it, man. I just don't see the vision anymore. The days of Sean O'Malley is the future. The division feels like they're over. So yeah, overall, I'm blown away by Merab. The guy has evolved into a monster. He's not just a grinder anymore. He's a finisher now. He's the full package fighter with cardio for days and strong clinch work, improved hands, and apparently a submission game now too. So that's terrifying. And look, some people said that the fight was boring, and I get it. It wasn't a barn burner. It wasn't a wild back and forth war. But to me, it was fascinating. It was a high level dominance. It was the kind of performance where you can really sit down and go back and go, wow, this dude really figured it all out. And whether you love him or not, you have to admit, Merab might be the pound for pound best fighter in the world right now. Because when you look at the win streak, the dominance, the evolution, and the quality of competition, he checks every box. He's not just winning, he's breaking guys, he's outlasting them, outworking them, outsmarting them, and now he's finishing them. That's a scary man. And right now, that's his division. Everyone else is just trying to survive it, okay?